Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or whatever time of the day this episode happens to get out. I apologize. I got a little bit sick, and so this video is not going out when I would have liked or intended it to. The heck? Is that the moon or the sun through the clouds? That's weird. Yeah, you might hear my voice a little bit. I've been a little bit under the weather. I apologize, but I'm here. I'm doing things. We'll get this out as soon as possible. In between episodes, I did expand our pit kiln operation and get some, excuse me, our two molds made in preparation for today. I stacked the bones that we got from panning, and some other things on the ground here for storage sake. And, why is that? The book is gathering dust actively, as we see. Oh. I don't have a shovel. Let's make a shovel. So we're gonna need to get... Actually, you can just pick it up. Never mind. What am I doing? I'm crazy today. We are going to start off today's episode with some metalworking, because we need tools desperately lately. I think I'm getting better at making my words weird without them sounding ridiculous. I don't know. You let me know. We need the shovel after all. So we have our charcoal. I'm going to dig out a little bit more of this because we're going to need to cover over this fire pit for rain purposes. I need some more of my peat. What did I do with the peat? Is it in one of these? Hold on. I'm all confuzzled and bamboozled and all the things. There it is. Because my brain has been pressurized recently. Okay, let's do that. My torch is gone out from the last episode. That I didn't fix that. Oh, the 1,000,001 chores of Vintage Story. How I love it and hate it at the same time. All right, I don't want those. Not doing anything with those. Cool. So, crucible. We have our 200 units of copper in said crucible with our preheat peat, as I like to call it. So let's get this lit. Like so. And we'll let that heat up. I am going to look for... It's going to hurt our food, which is already low, but whatever. I'm going to look for a little bit more clay. One thing you can do is if you look on the map, you will see lighter colors. If you have your color map setting on, that can mean ores, or not ores, like clay and stuff. Here, obviously, it just means that there is sand, but I am wondering if we look around just a little bit, if it works on the monotone map, because the blocks are technically a different color on the surface. Ooh. I'm gonna mark that for later. And we'll see if I'm right, but I have a feeling that might be something interesting for future progression. So, yeah. I forgot to do the colored map when I started this world, which is, here's the clay. And I had it marked anyways. I've lost my touch, folks. Okay, rambling aside, we have our clay. And we need to get back to see how our... Oh gosh, no, don't hurt me. How our fire's doing here. Is he following? I think he did follow. Do we have... Where's our sticks? Do we still have sticks? Crap. I have copper spears. We do have sticks. Copper spear heads from panning. There we go. There's something cool about combat and vintage story with spears. If you throw one... Oh, gosh, don't do that. Oh, no! If you throw one, the other one just goes right into that same slot, so... This is not a good time! That guy's up above us. Alright, we're just gonna have to... bite the bullet here. Oh, I pushed him back. Get out of here! Alright, he's dead. He's over there. He's guarding our fire. We don't got time for this, buddy. Oh, wow, there's a lot of them. There is a number of them. We are going to try and stay hidden. Alright, we're at 900, so we're going to swap it out for this. Something else that we need to make quickly before I forget. Oh my gosh. You can't touch a hot thing with your bare hands. Please tell me. Right there. So we need to make some rope. And we need to make some wooden tongs. Oh gosh. We got wolves out there now too? Oh my gosh. Ah! Back, demons! Okay. We're alive for the moment. Something you can do with the enemies is you can carve into them, and sometimes they drop nice things. Sometimes. Oh, here he comes. That guy did not. Oh gosh. That scared me. We're gonna eat the last of our berries here. No, thank you. This is a really irritating time for you guys to come by. I'm trying to demonstrate things. Okay. We're making things happen. So yeah, you need tongs or you're going to burn your hands off. Oh gosh, now we've got bow torn. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. We're going to try and enclose that place a bit, which is what I should have done in the beginning. That hurt. Oh my gosh, guys, there's copper right there! Ow. There's copper right there. Okay, is this molten? This is molten. We need to get this... Ow! I didn't hold the tongs. They need to be in your offhand. Okay. And we crouch, right click. I can't even speak. And pour. There we go. Oh gosh! No, no, no. It's... we are almost dead. The rest of my coal is just gonna burn. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm gonna die. Okay, well... Such is the life of a vintage historian, I guess. I am going to cook up a little bit of the meat that's about to go bad in here and weather the night. Yeah, it's already starting to spoil. And I will come back to you guys in the morning. Hopefully our crucibles will be cooled by then too. Or not crucibles. Oh gosh. I have the magic pixel! Yeah, I will let you guys know when it is safe to come back. And hopefully our clay forms are finished over there. Talk to you in a minute. Alright, so bad news. One of them somehow managed to phase through the door and killed me. So we didn't make it through the night. Good news was I was able to talk to Mr. Trader and he let me use his bed for the night. So it's no longer Derek, which is a good thing. Rescue that. Thank goodness. This stuff is a pain later when you need a ton of it. Don't waste it. It was very frustrating. Okay. We have all of our things. Believe we have all of our things. Alright. So. The rain stopped. Ooh. Speaking of the rain. If these are not protected. If it starts raining on your molds while they are hot, you can end up losing the whole thing. It could just shatter. So, yep. Make sure that you cover your stuff. Obviously, most of you, and if I were sane, I would too, would have a larger space to work with than I do at the moment. Normally I would have something larger as well, but I'm just trying to stick to the meat and potatoes for this, so. Later, maybe we'll build a house. But for right now, we're just trying to get through the content. Anyways, these are cooled. It says cold up there at the top. It would tell you what the temperature is. And certain metals can be taken out of the molds at certain temperatures. Obviously, waiting until they're cold is optimal, but you don't have to, is what I'm saying. We right-click. We have our pick head. And we have our hammerhead. And obviously we combine those with a stick. And we have our tools. I am also going to take a few sticks and make a tool rack. And we will place our hammer in it. So, normally, we'd have to go way back out and to our copper deposit spots. But as it turns out, we have copper right here. I told you it'll sneak up on you. Normally there's more copper. I guess here it's just hiding under the bushes. It's still only one piece, but when looking for ores, if there is a surface piece, then that should mean that there is copper right beneath. Sometimes you have to dig through a bit of rock. We got really lucky right here. My gosh, it's gonna look staged. That was too perfect. Okay, anyways, we're gonna dig out one more to get down to this. This is what your ores will look like, at least for copper. And we'll get out our brand new shiny pickaxe. And start digging into this. And as you can see, it gives you these chunks of native copper. That is fantastic. This is a... oh, it's a medium chunk. Medium is the quality, it's not the size. So there is poor, there is medium, there is... and there's rich, basically. There might be some more in between. Let's see. If we go to the handy-dandy notebook. chunk. Poor, medium, and rich. Yep. Oh, and bountiful. Right. That's the last one. Bountiful is the mother lode of ore, and what that does is that determines how many pieces you will get out of one of these chunks when we turn it into the nuggets. Now, ore in this game will form in a fan pattern most of the time, or like a disc. However, that disc of ore also tends to form in line with the terrain. So if there is some undulation, some elevation change to your ore, or to the terrain around your ore, there will likely be some of that to the ore deposit itself. And we're just going to cover this back up. We're going to use the rest of it to continue building our safe workplace. Like so. Okay. So now that we have our copper chunks, we grab our hammer, and we go like so, and we get more copper. And we're going to do that with all of the other, gosh darn it, door locations. We are also, or ore locations. We're also going to move things around here. Now that we have our pick, we can spend just a little bit of the durability to widen out our place of residence. Copper will break any normal stone. So this is the beginning of freedom in this game, shall we say. This is your first step into the greater game. Just like that, we have our expanded hidey hole, which we are going to use to make the next thing that we'll need, which is the prospecting pick mold, so that we can find even more types of ore. Alright, so now, as you probably just saw, if my editing skills are up to par, we have a anvil mold, which will become important very soon, being fired, and we have our prospecting pick mold. I've also started an axe and a shovel mold, and some ingot molds. All of these are either nice to have or gateways to further progression. So, it's all very, very, very good. The other thing that we're going to need today is some more cattails. Because after last night's escapades with the drifters, don't fall in the hole, please, I've realized that we should also understand how to regain health in a pinch. And for that, we need cattails as one of the starting ingredients. Hello, fishes. Cattails and horsetail. You know what? 8's fine for now. Cattail, obviously, you know where to find. Horsetail can be found in any forested area. So, like, this is forest dirt. Technically speaking, we could find some there. However, there is none there. So, we must sojourn further into the wilds and look for more of a proper forest. This is more like scrubland forest, in my opinion. We can grab some of this as we do. Got more peat over here. Oh, also, if in your travels you come across this stuff, Tule, you can grab that and you can make roofing out of it. So, keep that in mind as well, because that can be very nice, very useful. Where is the local forest? It was around the other way. Alright, give me a second. I'm going to go find the horsetail and come back. Alright, folks. So, this weird looking stuff is horsetail. I thought that was like a baby wolf or something. I was about to be very concerned. So we're going to grab a little bit of this. And we're going to make with it horsetail poultice. A poultice is a type of bandage, basically. In essence. There we go. It takes 4 horsetail per 2 reeds. A little hard to target there for some reason. There we go. We have 16 of those. Which is beautiful. Also, now that we are in the mining stage, don't just throw out your little stones. If we go and get some more clay, you can surround a piece of clay in the center with your stones, and you are now making cobblestone. So you have advanced just by unlocking your pick into the age of cobble? The cobble age? You're a cobbler now? That cobbler makes shoes. That doesn't work. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to call that. You've advanced in your in terms of your available building blocks. Watch out for holes, man. They're dark, dangerous, and deadly. So yeah, I'm gonna get my clay again. Also, we could probably stop by right here. This one we found together. So you know I'm not cheating. This one, as you can see, is poor. So we're not gonna get as much out of that, but we might as well gather it. Might as well gather this up so that we have it. We need 900 units to make our anvil when the time comes. So we're gonna need as much of this as we can get our hands on. Alright guys, we're back. This has been 2 different recording sessions because of my illness. I apologize for that. There's no way I'm getting that. Oh, wait. Now can I get back out? I can. Haha! Okay. So a little bit of work done. In between, all of this is fired. So we got all this fired. I made a couple of... I finished the shovel and the axe. all of that. We have exactly 700 units of copper, which would get all of these filled. We would need to get more for our anvil. I also realized that our old tool rack over here burned, as did one of our candles. So I moved those. Be careful, because pit kilns like to set all kinds of things on fire. So I also started putting a fence around with logs. You can do logs and sticks and a gate that way. So started doing that, and over here I cleared this out and I made a place to start some farming, because it is about high time that we get going on some proper food production. For that, we need this hoe. You want a fence. We probably actually want this fence. I think I still have a shovel. You want probably 2 blocks in between your fence and your garden. Reason being is raccoons will get into your stuff and steal it. So, yeah, when you're setting up a garden area, make sure that you have some kind of a fence. We're gonna hold right click to turn this medium fertility soil, which is better. You don't want to use the low fertility. You can, but it sucks. We're gonna hold right click, and we are just going to go probably just the 2 blocks out from the water. Should keep it moist enough for our purposes. Gotta have that hydrated soil. Perfect. And now, okay, so now that we've hoed this, you can see that there are nutrient levels. I forget exactly what N, P, and K stand for. There are those chemistry nerds who will be able to tell me that. I do farm in real life. I could probably tell you like nitrogen and some of the other things based off of what you need IRL. But as far as what the periodic table is talking about here, I'm a little bit lost. I'm not a chem nerd, so. But it is important. So you'll see that our growth speed right now is 98%. Excuse me, sorry. Our moisture is 100%. Those are great. Nutrient levels are 50% across the board. What is up with nutrient levels? Oh, also, apparently there was a beehive, like, in that tree there that I cut down, which is sad, because we could have gotten honey production going from there, but I did get a honeycomb, so. When you are planting seeds, back on topic, like we have here, why is this not movable? There we go. You look at the seed, required nutrient, nitrogen. In this case, I know it's nitrogen. That's fantastic. This is also nitrogen. This is whatever K is, and that is also nitrogen. When we're just gonna go take all of our nitrogen seeds. When you plant your seeds, over time, your seeds will take the nutrients from the soil that is listed on the seed package, if you will. So by the time these are done growing, these grow fast. They only got 5 stages. These have 9. Yep. By the time these are done growing, nitrogen will be depleted from your soil. The N value will have gone down. If it reaches 0 or it gets low, it affects the growth and production of your crops. So, ideally, you would go through your fields and you would plant your nitrogen crop, and then you would switch over to something like the flax, which we'll do next, and that would allow the nitrogen to repopulate in your soil as it depletes whatever K stands K stands for. Crop rotation. Crop rotation is a real thing. Both in-game and out of game. So pay attention to that. It is beneficial. Now that we have these growing, we should have a decent source of food. And since turnips grow pretty quick, if you hold shift and hit H, it'll bring up the block that you're looking at too. So, growth time 9 days, cold resistant till -5, and heat resistant until 27. Your heat values are also very important. If it goes below this, it can stunt your crops, which gives you about a 50% yield in the end. If it gets too hot, it can do the same thing. So you want to be careful to manage your temperatures, and where you are in the world, depending on how close to the North or South Pole you are, or the equator, or whatever, will determine what your heat values are. We are currently 8 days in, because our months are set to 7 days. It is the 1st of June. It is 26 degrees Celsius. These are heat resistant until 27. It's only, I mean, it's June, so we're kind of sort of in the hotter part of the season, like maybe getting to the hotter part of the year. But like we have July and August to get through, so it might get too hot for these in the long run. Either way, it's the food source that we have, so we can't do too much about that now, but it's something to worry about. Spelt can go up to 40 degrees Celsius, so this is a really good hotter climate grain. However, if we go over to rye only goes up to 27 as well. So there's a possibility that our rye could be stunted here, because it's going to take 9 days. Or no, how long does this take? This one takes 18 days. So this takes a little over 2.5 months to grow in-game. Which means that by the time this is grown, it'll be the hottest months of our calendar year here. And that could be a problem for our rye there. We'll keep an eye on that. The other thing to advance our food situation, so we'll grab our pickaxe and go back inside here. And we're gonna need another door. I don't know if these doors work, actually, so we're gonna do some experimentation here. But we're gonna go to the back of our hovel here, and we're gonna start digging down a little bit. It doesn't have to be underground. This could be a room, just any room, as long as it is no bigger than 7 wide by 7 long by 7 deep. I like going underground because traditionally a root cellar, which is what we're making here, would be underground. I'm gonna grab some clay as well, and we are gonna make some stairs for our little... Did that go in there? Yes, okay. For our little area here. So 3 of those. Dig up our roof a little bit here. We don't need a 7 by 7 by 7. That is massive. That is way too big for what we're doing here. We just need a better place to store those instead of putting dirt blocks on them. So we are going to come down to this level, put down our door, and we'll just dig out like a 3 by 2 by 2. Sounds decent to me. We got some low fertility soil sitting there. I'm not sure how far down we actually are here compared to up above, so that's a thing. the last one here. Dig that out. There we go. And now, let's see. It should say, I feel like there's a way for the game to tell you whether or not you have correctly built your cellar or not, but we're gonna see here. So we're gonna take that, and right now it's 24 days. It's gone up to 30 days. Throw that in there. We're gonna break this, grab all the stuff. If we go down here, oh gosh, there we go. And we put this in. This should be 30 days if this works. It is. Okay, so this door does work for a root cellar. Root cellars need to be dark. They need to be sealed. Doors count as sealing. So that works. And the door needs to be closed. And again, can't be any bigger than what I stated just a minute ago. But we now have a proper... We have a proper cellar, so we can store away our foods efficiently. We have more spelt. I'm just gonna put most of my seeds in here right now as well. We're gonna use our other turnip seeds here. This is the best way to store your food items, is in a cellar. In my case, underground, with a bunch of random junk. Like so. Alright. That's going to be your primary way of storing food, is in a cellar. So, there you have that. We'll get our other turnip seeds here and plant the last 2 of these. I'm going to leave that for the sake of our experiment, but I am going to replace those with the turnips. We haven't actually used any of the fertility. A day has not gone by, so these don't... Oh, growth stunted due to heat. Oh, no. Okay, alright. Well, there's your answer. And there's an answer to something else. Most of the time, if you dig up your seeds, it will give you a seed back, but in that case, it did not. It is not a 100% chance. So what is it right now? It is 27 degrees, which was the cutoff point for these. So, yeah. But you can see it there. Growth stunted due to heat will only yield 50% of produce. Since we've gone from 0 to something, I'm not going to count that as absolute, an absolute loss. But it is unfortunate. Also, with your cobblestone, with your shale stone, whatever stone that you have, you can also make these. Not quite as efficiently as you can make those, but you can make cobblestone or dry stone fencing that actually looks pretty cool. So, yeah. Alright, now that that is as it is, we can start fixing up this hole. We can chuck those in there. There we go. And this is starting to look a lot more like a livable situation. Much, much more. Okay, so now the next thing is we need to fire up our crucible again for the molten copper and get started on some more smelting of the stuff and the things. Did I go through all of my peat? I might have gone through all of my peat. That's not okay. All right, well, I'm gonna get some more peat. Go looking for peat. Pete, where you at? And we will come back when we are getting our tools put together here for the last thing that I want to show you in today's episode, which is the prospecting. See you guys in a bit. So here we are waiting for our copper. Smelting temperature 84. We just passed the line and we should start to see a little bit of progress. There we go. So as you hit the smelting temperature, that will start to go up. And we just have a little bit of time to wait while we replace doors and wait to have that thing finish melting all the copper. This is a metallurgic process that I have not experienced, that I would love to see or do myself at some point in the future, to actually get some ore of some kind and smelt it down myself, preferably iron. I don't think I could do much with copper, but as a blacksmith, going through the process of creating my own iron bloom is what it's called, when you have taken the raw iron ore, crushed it down, smelted it with charcoal inside of a bloomery, and let slag or other minerals drain out the bottom, leaving just the iron behind and potentially a little bit of steel. I'd love to go through the process of making my own iron and potentially even my own steel at some point, and then making myself like some knife or a sword or something typically made out of steel that I could then hang on a wall somewhere as like a trophy piece. I think would be really, really cool. I spent the other day talking about blacksmithing again, going through and looking at what it would cost to build the building that I want to house my forge inside of. I'm still workshopping a name for what I would call it. But yeah, the other day, before I was feeling too crummy, I went and sourced out some of the materials for building myself a workshop and a forge area. So the dream is visible, but we got a little ways to go. The building that I want to make is somewhere, and I'm going to build it myself. My family's been in construction for generations, so I'll build this place myself, and maybe it'll be my contribution in my what am I trying to call this here? This will be my salute to olden days blacksmiths who, you know, built their place with their bare hands and then forged their way to prosperity using those same hands. I don't know. I'm getting a little whimsical here, I think, but you get the idea. But yeah, from there, get into providing myself a business the same way. But yeah, the price tag's about $2,000, about $2,000 for the building I want to make. Shouldn't be too bad. I have a brake drum forge. It's not a traditional forge. If you get a truck brake drum, just like out of your local junkyard, there we go. That can be turned into a... We're gonna make an extra hammer. A forge. It's very simple. If you look it up, it's not all that hard. You might need a friend who knows how to weld. Put some pipes onto it. But it's a really simple method for making yourself a forge that you can use while starting out. That costs maybe, I don't know, $100 to get started. You need that and a hammer, and really any hammer could work. There's better hammers, but oh gosh, see, he phased through the door. That's what they did to me last time. All right, guys. Yeah, if you want to get started in blacksmithing, it doesn't have to cost you a fortune. It is actually very manageable. Oh my god, there's an army. There is an army of these guys. Where did they all come from? Oh, we're taking fire. We're taking fire. Uh-oh. I think they can get through those, I think they can get through the crude doors. That's not good. That's not good at all. Okay, well, we're gonna sleep the night away, have some breakfast, and, hopefully these guys will despawn by morning, and then we can get to prospecting. Good night, guys. Good morning. The neighbors are still outside, and I am literally starving. We'll fix that and then see what we have to do to deal with our grumpy neighbors over there. Hopefully the shooty shooter, they're called Bowtorns, has decided to vacate the area. Where'd y'all go? You all gone? Nope. There's one down. Look at them all. They're just wandering around. Oh my gosh. Nothing. The surface drifters don't give you a whole lot of loot, unfortunately. I don't need half of this. I don't need that. That will keep. I don't need that. We could have planted that back, but whatever. All right, get our ingots out, and we can stack those over there. Get all of our tools. We want the prospecting pick. And we need one more stick right here. Now we are solidly into the Copper Age. Put that there. We will put this there. We are going to finish with our flint tools before we get into using our other ones, so that we're not wasteful. Oh, the Bowtorn's still here. Where's he? Oh, there he is. Yep. All right. Well, I think it's time we go out on an adventure. I picked up stuff. I didn't want to pick up stuff. There we go. All right. For prospecting lessons. Yeah, that sounds like a wonderful, fantastic idea right now, since our home seems to be infested. We're going to call the inspectors and let them deal with that. Okay, so prospecting pick. It has two modes. It has density search and it has node search. In order to start looking for ores, you want to find a rock, any rock face, and you want to mine it out with your prospecting pick. You need 3 of these, so we need 2 more samples, and they need to be at least 3 to 4 blocks apart. So we do that one, and we'll go over here and we'll do this one. And there, you see, we have very poor bismuthanite, very poor cassiterite, bituminous coal, alum, and sulfur in minuscule amounts. So nothing too great here. Cassiterite you will never find in huge quantities. So a low reading is still possible. But copper you can, I've seen copper ore in like 26% density before, which is crazy. But yeah, so what we do is we will go a short distance away, and you can dig down. You don't have to do it in the side of a cliff or whatever. Where should we look? It can change pretty quick, so we'll just dig down right here. We'll try again. It's very deep. Oh, that's why. And we'll go a couple of blocks. We'll go over here. Do it again. There's no time limit on this, really. As long as you don't log out. One more sample, so we'll go, like, over here. I think 16 blocks from the original, or 32 blocks from the original spot is as far as you can go before it resets. Okay, so here you see our cassiterite has jumped up to 0.9. Our bismuthinite, or bismuth, is 1.49. The butamus coal has gone up. We also have lignite, galena, limonite, and sulfur. So cassiterite is 10. Note that. You need tin and copper to get into the Bronze Age most times. You can do it other ways, but it's harder. Bismuth is also an alloy for tin. Coal is obvious. Lignite is a type of coal. Galena, I believe, is lead. Limonite, I believe, is nickel. And then, of course, we have sulfur. So we want a decent reading of a good ore to go chasing after, especially with copper. We are a little limited. And you don't even have to remember where you found stuff. It marks it right there with all of the information. We got wolves nearby. So you can look at your map and see where you have prospected and kind of start to put together a picture of where ores might be, or maybe you're not ready to mine a particular ore at this time. You can go back later. Like nickel, you can't mine until you have steel, for instance. So we might know where some nickel is, but we don't have to worry about that yet, and we have it marked on the map, so. We need one more sample for this one. Get out of the water. Yeah, right here. Baby raccoon. Decent cassiterite. That's actually... Wow, okay. Well, we might be into the Bronze Age pretty quick if that's the case. We just need to find more copper. There's a wolf over there. Alright, well, let me do some picking around here, and we'll see if we can find a decent enough reading to go digging down in to try and find it. Okay, so right here we found a reading for poor native copper at 5.37%. That's not horrible. It's not the best I've ever seen, but it's not horrible either. So at this point, we want to go into node search. And let's see, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 blocks down. I'm going to just go straight down. There's not really a chance of falling into... There's a small chance of falling into lava, but this is by no means Minecraft. So we're 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to start right around where the stone is over my head, and we're going to start node searching out around us. Flint in that direction, but you can see how this works now. I'm going to go this direction. Flint, small amounts. All right, so that's 8. We'll go 4 more down. 9, 10. We'll go 5, 11, 12, 13. We'll do it again. And we'll see if we can't figure out where this copper is. No ore found nearby. So those are... This is kind of how you start to sniff out where your ores are. So you see there we have flint, medium, flint, small, flint, trace. So obviously, if you get a medium amount, you want to start trying to go in that direction. And if you get a smaller reading, you want to, see if there's a stronger reading in another area. basically your it's like a metal detector. You get a stronger signal, you follow the stronger signal. If you get a weak signal, you're not in the right spot. So we just got to keep looking until we find that node and the signal gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And then we will have the ore that we are looking for. Oh my gosh, we have trace amounts of native copper. My pick's almost done. I'm gonna have to do something weird to try and get out of here at this point. We have gone a long way down, but we've finally found a whiff of this copper. Small. And trace. Okay, so it's in that direction, I'm guessing. We're gonna go this way first and see if we even have the pick durability to do this. Luckily, we have the other pick back at home, so we're gonna go 3 or 4 blocks, maybe even a little bit further. And we're gonna test again. Very large. Lovely. We're headed the right direction. You see how this works? Lovely, lovely, lovely. Very large. We might need to go down. Let's dig out a little bit of the side here and go down some. We might be over top of it. I'm gonna have to go back for the other pick, I know it. I also hear creepies, so there is a cave nearby somewhere. There it is! We found it! Huzzah! And it's rich! We're rich, people! We are rich! Huzzah! Oh my word. Alright. I'm thinking my way back up is going to be using these fences. We're gonna see if this works. I don't know, but we're gonna make a bunch of these fences and see if we can pillar our way back up with fences, which are like they are in okay, I do have them. They are like they are in Minecraft. They are a block and a half tall, so that is a thing. And then the rest of these, we're just gonna chuck out over there. I had to fight a couple of bowtorn that had me trapped in a corner. One stick isn't gonna do us any good down here. I can't believe I brought my tongs. What a waste of inventory. Okay. Let's see what we can get out of this pickaxe before it breaks. Alright, there goes our pick. There went our hunger as well. We have 1 berry to sustain us. We got 37 chunks of rich native copper. And you'll see that instead of 20 units, like the medium chunks, we get 25 out of this. Out of the rich stuff, so that's awesome. You may have also seen that I had to come back here and make sure that I had gotten this set up so that we could actually jump on top of the fence block. And I kind of can't believe that this is working, but this is kind of awesome at the same time. I had to use the dirt to block off the bowtorns on the way up. So I didn't have the dirt to pillar my way back out. Oh gosh. See ya, suckers! We might be in a little bit of trouble, guys. Might be in a little bit. Let's see. We're so close! Clutch? 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 Hey, we did it! Oh my gosh, I can't believe that just barely worked. Ow! Sir! Oh gosh, it is danger noodles out. It is very dangerous. Is that, you know what, that's marked. That's marked. We'll come back to that. We need to get out of Dodge. Let's go home. Oh boy. Oh gosh. Alright, we made it back. There are things out there that were on my booty on the way home, including a shiver, which was not good. But we made it back, and we have rich copper, which, let's see here. Let's grab the one that we've already used. What do we get? 128 plus 57. 925. We have 25 units of copper over what we need to make our anvil. It's the same process. Hi, guy. Same process. You heat it up in here. You'll pour it in here. The only difference is now, with this particular mold, when you pull out your anvil from it, this mold will break. So you do not get to reuse this. We will need to make another one later. But for right now, we have everything we need to get into the blacksmithing era, if you will. So, yeah, I'd say that we have made a lot of progress. We had a clutch escape from an epic find. We will go back for more of that copper with our other pickaxe here soon. But for now, I think that is it for the time being. If you guys have any questions or things that you would like to see in future episodes, questions you have about the game, do let me know, and I will attempt to facilitate, and I will see you guys next time. Peace!